I'm back. More technical difficulties. You're at the Watchmen Way. April 27th, 2020. Me and Poppy. Hi, Poppy. Say hi, Poppy. Say hi, Poppy. um, Top Manhattan doctor, ER doctor, commits suicide. And you always got to take a second look at something like this, right? With all the problems of it going on in New York. It looks like this person was, I think it was a woman in the emergency room, was, I don't know, upset. She'd actually contracted the virus and then recovered and went back to work. And then I guess sounds like they take her off the job. So something was going on there. But how they're making this out is, how the mainstream selling it is, that the conditions were so horrible that this person just had to commit suicide because the virus is so deadly. I mean, that's the way they're portraying it. Again, just laying on the fear porn. We know, guys, with the mortality rate, it's the flu. And here's the other thing that it could be. There's also been reports coming out of New York of actually murdering patients, giving them the wrong treatments on purpose so that they'll die. I don't know, guys. It seems odd to me that, well, some of the stories we're hearing. We'll leave it at that. The next trick. So Pelosi's going to be the big hero now. She's going to virus-proof our election by allowing everyone to mail in their votes. Does this seem odd to you? That she's so concerned about the election and saving it. This is their last chance. They know that the only way for them to get power back, and this is, I'll tell you right now, it has zero impact because the military will never allow a globalist to take charge of our government. It will not be allowed. The military is going to stand up because they know what's coming. They're trying to create a nuclear war somewhere in the world to destroy America. It's not going to happen. The military is not going to let it happen. So this gamut, this last ditch, lame attempt to save themselves, cheat the mail-in ballot and win the election so they can get back in power and then create a nuclear war. Not going to happen. No matter how it goes, it's not going to happen. Plus, the American people would revolt. If they did cheat, they'd probably be hung in the streets. So don't worry about it. It's a non-issue. President Trump's never going to allow it. They're going to clean this up before the election. They're already starting to reopen. And here's another kicker. For the first time, voters are going to be penalized for their liberal policies, for voting in politicians with liberal policies. Those governors, watch to see what happens. All these people want to go back to work. All these people who voted Democrat want to save their homes, want to save their families, want to feed their families. They want to go back to work. And the Democratic, the liberal, the globalist governors, look at all the ones who are fighting this. You'll see a straight line. You know, globalists on one side, conservatives on the other, patriots on the other. So, you know, for the people in California, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, get ready for the pain, because your governors are going to squeeze you to death, and they don't care. They could care less if you can feed your family or not. Now, they're going to throw a bunch of free money at you. That's the other thing that's going on. You know, Pelosi just voted for basically free money. Up to $72,000, I think, a year. You know, they're already giving this, I think it's 300 more a week than unemployment. And what did they do there? They created an environment where people don't want to go back to work because they're making more on unemployment than they are. And see, it's not a bad plan, because it does have people speaking out. Oh, I don't want to go back to work. You know, I'm making more now. And then, of course, with the mainstream media piling on, oh, you shouldn't go back to work because it's not safe. You're going to die. You're going to catch the virus and die. It's going to give the people excuse not to go back to work when businesses open up. So, something else to keep an eye on. This is basically all for you guys information, because nothing is changing as far as where this is all headed. The worldwide economy is collapsing as we speak. The swamp is being drained as we speak. The satanic pedophiles are being exposed and will be eradicated as part of this process. It's all happening this year, guys. We're right in the middle of it. Yeah. Mail-in votes aren't going to happen. Yeah. Oh, the Fed. The Fed has gone nuts, and it can get worse. Well, and it will get worse unless they declare a reset. That's the only thing that's going to keep it from getting worse, is declaring the reset before the collapse actually happens. And trust me, declaring the reset is going to be a lot less chaotic than an organic collapse, where out of the clear blue, the banks are closed and possibly the power's off. That's going to scare people. It's going to freak people out. You know, to declare a reset, you're coming out front and selling what's going on. You know, the economy is corrupt. We got to start over. That's simple. Yeah, it's a lot better than the alternative of a collapsing economy. Just look at what happened to Venezuela. And we don't have to go through that. It's President Trump's call 100%. If he can avert what happened in Venezuela and what happens in every country that goes through this, that overprints their currency, that we're on the verge of doing. Hyperinflation hits and everything comes down. And it's going to hit eventually. We're not going to make it to the end of the year printing money like we're printing it. So they got $700 billion bond buying expansion in this deal right now, in response just to the virus, right? And already 0% interest, or for all practical purposes, 0% interest, and unlimited buying of assets, bonds. And now they're buying stocks. And they're buying bonds from places they in the past wouldn't have been allowed to buy. You know, like businesses and corporations and local governments. Crank up those printing presses. I mean, that's what's going on. That's what's keeping this floating, guys. And then the other thing it does is it kills, for the savers, it devalues your dollars. I mean, and then what it ultimately does is you got to spend your money, or it's going to be worthless. You get into a spending frenzy, and then it's the next step is hyperinflation. The money's worthless. It takes a wheelbarrow of cash to buy a loaf of bread. Those pictures are real. Zimbabwe, Weimar Germany, Venezuela. It happens every time. It'll happen to us if we don't declare a reset, or that something else doesn't collapse it before it happens. And that's always a possibility. With the derivatives, who knows? This oil thing could already have brought it down. They just haven't announced it yet, or it hasn't hit the streets yet. There's always going to be a lag time before when something blows, and if it's behind the scenes, like with the derivatives, it's going to take maybe weeks before we see it, right, on the street. Yeah. So Pelosi's the universal basic income, up to $72,000 a year per person, I guess. It's just they've got to do this. They've got to keep the virus in the news up to the election, because they've got to force mail-in ballots. And again, that's not going to happen. They're not going to be able to keep it going that long. This is all over. Yeah, and it's the flu. Look at the mortality rate, and it's getting harder and harder to sell this sham, because more and more doctors are coming out and saying something's wrong. This isn't a pandemic. Looks like I went through a list today on Zero Hedge. We are going to have the liberal states are going to hold out. They're going to keep the hammer down as long as they can. But the conservative states are already starting to open. I think by May 1st, first week in May, I think almost all the conservative states will be open, which is going to help if you live there, right? It's going to help your situation personally, and obviously it's going to be good for everybody when we get back open. That's why I like being in Arizona. Probably in the next week, in a few days, we're back open for business here. And people are, you can see when you're out, just the shift in the 10 days or so I've been here. 10 days ago, they were, remember, because Arizona, real high elderly population. They were really taking it serious. I mean, like I said, the first day I went to the store, every single person had a mask on. Now hardly anybody does. So people are starting to understand this isn't what they said it was. And they're acting appropriately. Okay. Yeah, God is really at work when you see how it's coming back to bite the liberals because of their politicians' policies. GM suspends dividend stock buyback program to preserve cash. These are all Zero Hedge headlines. Anybody that tells you that the economy's okay, run. Yeah, because here's another one. It's time to turn cruise ships into oil tankers. We've got a glut of oil. They have nowhere to put it. They're actually putting it in oil tankers and having it parked out in the ocean. And we know what's happened to the cruise industry, right? Cruise industry is basically done. And there's one company in the article that's actually doing this. They're turning their cruise ships into oil tankers. Whatever it takes. But doesn't speak for a strong economy. And then here's what the kicker for these cruise ships that are converting to oil tankers. My question is, what's going to happen to those oil tankers when we go to 0 point energy? When 0 point energy that we have, the U.S. government has 0 point energy. What's going to happen when that technology is released? What's going to happen to the oil industry? We had this discussion, I don't know, last week maybe. I love combustion engine cars. I'm always going to have one. I mean, I just personally, I like the whole feel compared to like an electric car. But when you have 0 point energy, 95% plus of the cars on the road are going to be electric cars. It's crazy not to. You'll have you'll still, I think there will be gas stations. Probably few and far between, because it's going to be like, I had a truck that ran on propane once, great truck, good mileage, but it was a bear finding fuel for it. And I think that's what it's kind of going to be. You're going to have to hunt for gas stations in the future. So my point is that, here they are thinking that they're being progressive and looking forward, and they're not looking far enough forward because they didn't realize this isn't probably a good idea or they're just going to convert it back or to something else. The oil industry's dead, is my point. This is big. This goes to show that we're at the end of the game. Because Bill Gates just announced his foundation, is abandoning all other projects except the vaccine for the virus. What does that tell you? This is their end game. They have to make this work right now, or they're done. It's not going to happen. Sorry, Bill. You're going to hang. All these guys. Him and Soros, crimes against humanity. They probably got him on video too, because I'll bet my bottom dollar source has been to one of Epstein's, either his ranch in New Mexico, his mansion in New York City, his mansion in Florida, or Epstein Island. And I think Gates too. Gates was in Epstein's phone logs. But it shows you that this is the end. This is it. This either flies for them or it doesn't, based on this year. And sorry, globalist, it's not going to fly. Globalism is dead. Agenda 21 is dead. Central banks are dead. The corruption is ending. Justice is coming to the world for the first time in a long time. Thousands of years. True justice. Good is defeating evil. Let's see. hedge fund CIO, the oil price is a rare indicator of what is real in this market. Look at the turmoil. That's what should be happening in all of the financial markets, all of the individual sectors, because it's all a dog and pony show. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all based on free money, fake money, worthless money. That, it's a fiat currency. There's nothing backing it. And we're about to see it go to zero, along with everything else on paper. That's why you have to be outside the system. You have to have physical silver, not paper, physical silver, actual coins, and Litecoin. Digital currency, the future of money. People ask, well, what's backing cryptocurrencies? Well, it's a technology, and with some of them, it's the limited availability. The good ones are limited. Ethereum or Bitcoin and Litecoin. I think it's 21 million Bitcoin and 84 million Litecoin. That's all that's available in the world. That's all there will ever be. I'm not sure what it is on Bitcoin, but Litecoin, more than 64 million have already been sold. And there's 7.5 billion people in the world who are going to realize at the same time they need cryptocurrencies. What do you think's going to happen to the price when that happens? When the dollars around the world are worthless, when China, Russia, and America go to gold-backed currencies, what do you think's going to happen to cryptocurrency? It's going to go through the roof, just like physical silver. Physical silver's been money for 5,000 years. It's going to be money a long time in the future. I mean, at some point, we're probably going to outgrow money. We may not need it. I don't know. Might be in my lifetime, but it's not today. It's not next year. It's the future of money. Every transaction, every single transaction is recorded. It's the technology. It's the security. And it's the function. It's within 6 months of the collapse, you'll be able to buy anything anywhere with cryptocurrencies. It will drive mass adoption out of need. Because we're going to need a form of payment. Credit cards are going to be frozen. Cash nobody's going to want to take because it's all of currency in the world today is fiat. So until we get a gold-backed currency, when this blows, people aren't going to want to take it. They're going to prefer cryptocurrencies or gold or silver are going to be the preferences until the gold-backed currencies come out. Now, I think they're ready to roll. But the problem is going to be, how many of those are you going to have? And it's going to boil down to how you protect yourself. Your insurance against this economic disaster is physical silver and Litecoin. Because one Litecoin, which is today around $45, I think it was 44 something before I came on. Some analysts believe $3 million by 2024. So 4 years from now, $3 million for something you paid $45 for. And I think those numbers are conservative. I think actually, and the same analyst said Bitcoin would be 12 million, right, by 2024. When you do the math, based on today's prices, Litecoin is the far superior buy. Nothing wrong with Bitcoin, but I sold all mine at the top, just under 20,000, and went to Litecoin because that's what God showed me. And all of my research since 2014 has shown me that everything God showed me is true. The economy's coming down. The swamp is draining. The pedophiles are being exposed. Physical silver and Litecoin are going to go through the roof. Take advantage of this. This isn't once in a lifetime opportunity. This is a once in humankind opportunity. Nothing like this has ever happened before. Nothing like this will ever happen in the future. Going to be the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. Take advantage of it. This is a gift from God. That these prices are so low. I mean, silver's still under $16. Take advantage of these gifts, and save your financial future and your family's financial future. It's changing lives, so take advantage of it. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, I'm getting pretty good on that time. Oh, what am I doing here? Tessie, how you doing? Garrett, what's up? Kevin? Anybody has any questions on Litecoin, on the ledger, your storage device, physical silver? Get a hold of Kevin Owens. Gary, what's up? Shirley, hello. Michael, what's up? Cecil, what's up? Yeah, Michael's back. Where you been, Michael? Becky. Well, Becky, a currency doesn't have to be standard for it to be a value or to be used to spend. It's about the adoption. It's about who wants to accept Litecoin as a form of payment. And what I'm saying is that within 6 months of the economic collapse, which is going to happen any day now, you will be able to buy anything with Litecoin, because mass adoption is going to be forced, because we're going to be looking for other forms of payment when the dollar collapses, credit cards freeze up. Litecoin and cryptocurrencies are going to step to the forefront. Again, they're secure. They're fast, relatively inexpensive to use. Oh, wait a minute, going the wrong way. No, cryptocurrency is not the mark of the beast. Anytime someone says something stupid like that, just, you can look into it, but you have to go in with the angle that, it's not. And cryptocurrencies are not the mark of the beast. Not even close. Yeah, Kathy's saying that they are letting people die in New York hospitals. I got that story, and I also got story that they were actually doing things they knew would harm people. Like not following the proper protocol and how you use like the ventilators. It was killing people. And they knew it. Supposedly. Pam, how you doing? I don't doubt it one bit. I mean, they were trying to inflate the numbers. They were paying hospitals more if their patients died from the virus. Todd, what's up? Barbara. By 2024, well, I think, so here's the deal. You have to look to even consider what silver is going to be in 2024. You have to know about the historical average. And that's the historical average between silver and gold. And for 5,000 years, It's run about 10 to 1. It takes about 10 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. That's how it comes out of the ground, about 10 to 1. Makes sense. That's how it's priced. Well, right now it's 100 to 1 or over 100 to 1. 100 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. When this manipulation is removed, the historical average is going to snap back into place. So at today's prices, that means silver would be about $175 today, considering the historical average. That's going to happen very soon, in the next few weeks. When they go to a gold-backed currency, most economists, now this is based on the amount of currency in the world today, and what we believe is the total gold above ground today that's been mined, available. They figure gold will be revalued to between $50,000 and $85,000 an ounce. Okay, so now we go to the 10 to 1 ratio, and what does that do to silver? Let's just say it's $50,000. And that's going to be probably this year that we're going to go back currencies this year. China, Russia, America at least. Well, then silver is now $5,000 an ounce. That's way before 2024. I think eventually, within 10 years, silver is going to surpass gold in price because of technology that's coming that requires huge amounts of silver that's going to drive silver through the roof, even more than it had been. So by 2024, I'm going to say between 5,000 and 10,000 an ounce, easily. And I wouldn't be surprised if this technology takes off sooner rather than later. It could be 50,000 an ounce by 2024. I would guess 50,000 an ounce by 2030. But it's going to be 5,000 at least by 2024. Now, when you do all these numbers, the best investment is still Litecoin. So no matter what, I mean, $20 in Litecoin can change your life. I know there's people out there that are struggling. Struggle to put together $20. Because $20 will bring you $1 million in 4 years if you can hang on to it. You put $20 into Litecoin right now and hang on to it for 4 years. It's going to change your life. And just think about if you've got 100 or 200 or 400 or 1,000. The more you have, the more you're going to be able to pay forward. Remember, we've talked about the way. 3 months ago, God called me for the second time. This first time was to be a watchman. Second time was to lead the revival of his church, called The Way, the church that Jesus taught 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago, when Jesus was here, he was teaching his church, which he called The Way. God came to me and asked me to lead the revival of this church. God also showed me the Catholic Church is coming down this year. The Pope's going to resign. The Catholic Church is going to collapse from the inside. And the pedophilia, the extent of the pedophilia is going to be revealed. 1.2 billion Catholics are going to be looking for a new home. God wanted the way ready for them. And God's telling me that by 20 years, by 2040, the way will be the biggest religion in the world. And I believe it because everything he showed me so far is coming true, number one. And the world's starved for something like this. It's starved for the way. God's not happy with what church has become in the world. He's not happy with how we use the Bible to beat each other with, to use as a weapon. That's not how it's intended. We aren't judges. With the way, it's the purest religion on earth, and prove me wrong. You tell the truth every time. You do the right thing every time. You live your life in the service of others. You treat others with respect. There's no violence unless it's in self-defense. Our donations go from our hands into the hands of the needy. There's no middleman. There's no buildings. There's no church. The church is how we live our lives every day. It's in all of us. There's no priest. There's no pope. There's no way to manipulate it. There's no way to control it. We're all equal. I've looked at this hard. I can't see anything out there that comes close to this. I've talked to hundreds of Christians since I started this journey. All of them are telling me the same thing. They're disgusted by what's being taught in church, by the things they have to ignore because they're a 501c3. God's not happy. God does not want governments involved in dictating to churches what they can preach or not preach. This is changing. Church is changing. You know, we don't spend an hour in a building a week. We're out on a job site. We're building homes for the homeless. We're painting a house. We're doing yard work. We're ending hunger. We're ending homelessness. You know, if you want to be a better person, you want to live a better life, you want to live your life in service of others, you won't find anything better than the way. It's going to explode when the Catholic Church collapses, and continue for the next 20 years. You know, we've got the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. Man's greatest accomplishment in defeating these satanic pedophiles that have been controlling our world since Babylon. 1,000 years of peace and prosperity. Man's greatest age. The way exploding as 90% of the evil is removed from the face of the earth. Where's the downside? Where's the fear? Where's the worry? There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to worry about. Everything that's happening is for our good. It's for the good of mankind. I hope I'm back. Nothing to be fearful of, guys. We know, even though we say that, the people who aren't educated, who are ignorant to what's going on, they're going to experience a lot of fear. And that's got to be part of the next phase of our mission. You know, right now, red pill and prepare. Well, once everybody's been force-fed their red pill, then, you know, things shift. Then we go into recovery mode, right? Where we've got to be looking for these people who are suffering from cognitive dissonance and get them through it. Because as anybody who's awake knows, when you go through the part of this where you get into the satanic pedophilia, it's going to rock your world. I don't care who you are. And when it's force-fed, in other words, this is going to be on the news 24/7. They're not going to be able to get away from it. They're not going to be able to hide from it anymore. So it's going to hit them, whether they want it to or not. And especially when it comes that way, there's a lot of people that are going to, they're going to walk around like zombies for days or weeks. We got to be there to help them through this. So, be positive. Best way to start a conversation, we want to red pill somebody. How would you like to be a part of the greatest transfer of wealth in human history? That's what you got to do. Here we go. So anyway, it's a long answer to a short question. Where am I going here? Tessie, Leah, Tessie 2, Leah. Teresa, how you doing? Question everything. Even me. Prove me wrong. Nobody has yet. Listen, I'm human. I make mistakes, so It wouldn't be the first mistake I've ever made. Let's put it that way. Yeah, listen, guys, listen. You know when you see those videos when they're telling you that cryptocurrencies are the mark of the beast, you know who's putting those out? The globalists and the banksters. The bankster globalist. That's who's putting that stuff out. It is in no way the mark of the beast. God showed me Litecoin. Is God going to show me something that's the mark of the beast? There's zero merit to that claim. Zero. Yeah, and remember, guys, it's a long-term investment. Don't worry about what it is today or tomorrow or next month or even 6 months from now. Worry about it in 2 or 3 years down the road. That's when you start looking at the price. It's a long-term investment. Jerry the welder, how you doing, Jerry? Thank you, Cecil. Raylyn, how you doing? Raylyn knows 1,000% that Donald Trump has been anointed by God. And I'll confirm that because that's what God told me too. God has his hand on President Trump, guiding him, protecting him. And thank God, because reportedly there's been 11 assassination attempts. Yeah, Mercury dimes are fine. Roosevelt and Mercury dimes, anything that's 1964 or older, is exactly what you want. Either one. Or both. Danny from Canada. What's up, Danny? You're welcome, Kathy. Myra, how you doing? Darren, what's up? Tina, hello. Brian, how you doing? Just a quick survey. Is there anybody who's watching right now who doesn't believe that the collapse has already started? Is there anybody out there who doesn't believe that? Or that it's happening very soon? Judy, how you doing? Cindy Lou, hello. Yeah, and here's the good thing, guys. What I'm 99% sure of is that they are right now saving all of these kids. That's happening right now. I believe that 99%. That's the most important thing. The other stuff's going to come. Ross, how you doing? Ryan, what's up? Pam, hello. Trust God, trust the plan. Sherry, how you doing? Ledger Nano S or Ledger Nano X. It's where you store your Litecoin. It's called a hard wallet. It's basically like a thumb drive. You need to order that from ledger.com. Talk to Kevin if you have any questions. Kevin Owens if you have any questions. He's on tonight. There he is right there. Dennis, how you doing? Yeah, there's a lot of different storage devices, guys. When I started this several years ago, I looked at what was the best option out there, and this is still the Ledger is one of the premium options for storing your coins. Secure, relatively easy to use. Rebecca, Kathleen, how you guys doing? Well, Kevin's saying he doesn't understand why the mainstream isn't carrying all this stuff. Listen, the mainstream media still works for the deep state. You have to understand that right up front. If you don't understand that or you don't know about this, go to YouTube and search Project Mockingbird. I think right after the Second World War, this was started, and it was basically controlling the media, the narrative, so you can control thought. This started right after the Second World War with the CIA and the deep state. And now it's all scripted. The CIA tells these guys exactly what to say. But not for long. President Trump, I think, is going to seize control of the media using the executive order written 12/21/17, which, if you're involved in human trafficking or corruption, any individual or corporation can have their assets seized if they are. That means every corporation in America. Google, Apple, Alphabet, Facebook, Amazon, Twitter are all going to be seized. Stephanie got Roosevelt dimes today. Good job, Stephanie. Keep buying, guys. Here's a testimonial. Kevin Owens, who's now running our investment department investment advisor department, I guess we call it, did not believe me. Took several hundred hours of research for them to get on board. Yep, Todd's saying he knew before the Watchmen. Yeah, there's a lot of people, me included, who there's been I think now where I am in my life and looking back in my childhood, I knew that the Catholic Church was corrupt and our government, what elements of our government were corrupt when I was 12 years old in 1967. I think I've had, although I didn't realize what it was, this influence, spiritual influence, and it's strengthening almost every day now. And I know this is happening to a lot of other people too, where you just know things, sense things, see the future. Yeah, IMF is already covering debt in 25 plus countries. Not going to end well. Ray Lynn, everybody should take a look. The CD set of the Oracle and the Unveiling of the Jubilee gives an exact account of how President Trump is, where he is, and why it's all from the Bible. Check it out, guys. We should have this on our websites. Ray Lynn, will you either remind me or talk to Lisa, please? Thank you. Gilbert, what's up? Yeah, we're going to get these posted on the websites, guys. Hopefully soon. Maybe by tomorrow. If they're not already. They may already be there. First thing you should do, go to the Watchmen Way, whatever it is, watchmanway.com, thewatchmanway.com, and look under the video section. It may already be posted. You bet, Cecil. President Trump, by far, nobody even close, goes down as our greatest president. No question. When this is all over, trust me. Good job, Roxanne. Keep buying. I Matt's asking if the government's going to start using cryptocurrencies. I think there are going to be in the next 12 months many governments using cryptocurrencies as a form of settling debt, a way to settle debt. It makes the most sense. It's instantaneous. It's virtually unhackable. Every transaction is recorded. I mean, the upside is huge. Whether America is one of those, I don't know. I don't care, really. I could care less. What I care is what's happening. It's headed towards mass adoption. Mass adoption means, and this is the perfect storm, guys. This couldn't have happened at a better time because as the banks are tanking, collapsing, and President Trump is exposing their corruption and theft, we have cryptocurrency stepping up to take their place. This is the perfect storm for the destruction of central banks around the world. This is God inspired. This is divine intervention. This is the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. Do you want to be a part of it? Get your physical silver and Litecoin now. Don't miss this boat. I've told the story before about my ex-father-in-law, who, great guy, was a colonel in the Marines in the Second World War, was a hero, went to work for the LA County School District after he got out of the military. He knew Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc, he was in charge of purchasing for a while. Ray Kroc used to try to sell the school district milkshake machines. Well, when Ray Kroc was in the beginning stages of McDonald's, he asked my father-in-law to invest $1,500, and he had it. He didn't do it. He'd have been a billionaire by the time I knew him in the 70s. He regretted it for the rest of his life. I heard that story 100 times. It was his biggest regret. Don't be that person. Don't have that regret for the rest of your life. Take advantage of these gifts from God. God wants you to have them. God wants you to use a portion of them, paid forward, designated as a foundation to the revival of his church. That's our next phase as Watchmen. We're going to go into expanding the way and then acting as a conduit between the money, all of the Watchmen, the thousands of Watchmen that are now billionaires, maybe trillionaires, and connect the projects with the money. That's going to be the main function of the Watchmen in the future. No, of course not, Cecil. You guys have all done your homework. That's why you're here. And trust me, anybody that's here is here because God wants you here. There's a reason you're here. You're here to be a part of this. Not just what we're doing right now, but what we're going to be doing in the future. Because to me, that's when the fun starts. This next phase, ending homelessness, ending hunger, not just in America, but the world. Those are our first two projects, guys. I'm anxious to get started. Yes, Litecoin will be used as a way between countries of settling trade. I think that's why Litecoin is going to soar to the top, because as a way of settling debt, of the top three cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, Litecoin is the least expensive to use. It's the fastest. It's the most efficient. And I believe because of that, it's going to drive the price. Yeah. Thank you, Raylan. Barbara, how you doing? Yeah, hey, listen, guys. I was raised Catholic. I went to parochial school. I was an altar boy. I know the Catholic Church very well. Um, and you know, I've had people accuse me of trying to destroy the Catholic Church. I'm just telling the truth. you know, and listen, if you think there's the Catholic Church is okay, you got problems because the Catholic Church is not okay. God's not happy with the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church. Have you heard some of the crap the Pope has been saying the last couple of years? He would have been hung 50 years ago for half the things he said. This is happening. It's happening this year. It needs to happen. 50% of priests are pedophiles, not homosexuals. 50% of priests are pedophiles. Let that sink in for a minute. There's 1.2 billion Catholics, and 50% of their priests are pedophiles. The Catholic Church is going to get what's coming to it. It's going to get justice from God. Patricia, your dad was right. Oh, yeah. New pages were added today, guys, to the Watchmen Way site. So check them out. Good work, Lisa and Kevin. Well, there's rumor that President Trump might be the last president. I don't know about that. If it's true, it just means we're even at a better place. If we can get everything done without having a president and be in a world that works, whatever, guys. It's the key is how we're living our lives, right? It's are there good things happening in the world? Is good controlling the world instead of the evil for the last how many 10,000 years? I don't know. A real long time. This wasn't supposed to happen. We weren't supposed to be able to beat these people. God's hands are all over this, guys. We're going through our spiritual Armageddon right now. It's happening right now. Okay, let's see. Darren's saying his grandmother preached him this 40 years ago. Ahead of her time, Darren. She was ahead of her time. I'm glad you found us, Gilbert. Yep. Good one, Jerry. Oh, you too, Kevin. You too, Kevin. Stephanie says she tried to buy Litecoin today, but wouldn't go through. So now listen, guys, this is a good point because as this thing heats up, just don't think that you're going to be able to run to the computer anytime and buy more Litecoin. Those days are very close to being over. Not that you may not be able to get it for a while longer, but if as more and more people start to recognize the problems in the world, the economic problems in the world, the traffic is going to increase continually from here on out. If you have the funds, buy today. Don't wait for it might drop 50 cents. You're going to feel like a fool if you miss out on 10 or 15 Litecoin you could have had that go to 3 million a piece, and you missed them because you were waiting for a dime drop in the price or something foolish like that. Buy them. At $45, people are going to think you're a genius in 5 years. When you tell them you paid $45 for Litecoin, they're going to think you're a genius. Don't wait. Buy as much as you can, as fast as you can, of both physical silver and Litecoin. Anything you leave in the bank, anything you leave on paper will be lost. Donna's been a good cheerleader for the Watchmen. She's brought a bunch of people to the Watchmen. Got Rita here. Thanks, Gary. You too, buddy. Gary's been here, I think, almost since the beginning. Yeah, the Catholic Church doesn't need any help destroying itself. That's for sure. Shit started when I was a kid. All the pedophilia was being exposed. A long time ago. Pope is evil. Some say the Antichrist. I think it's him or Obama. Roxanne's friend left the church. Molested as a child. Sick. And then it was allowed to continue. They basically just moved these guys around when they got caught. Because they were all in on it. Yeah, it's not just the Catholic Church, guys. That's a good point, Stephanie. There's a lot of churches that take advantage of that trust. That's the other thing God's not happy about. You want to go to hell real quick? Pretend to be a priest or a spiritual person trying to help people and then abuse them. See what happens to you. Not going to be good. God has very little tolerance for people that use his name or his church, or what people call his church, for evil. That's the quickest way to hell. Sue, how you doing? Okay, I better get off here. I'm going to be on all night. Okay, that's it for questions. Okay, guys. Remember, you got to come at people with a positive thought. It's got to be, how would you like to be a part of the greatest transfer of wealth in human history? Nobody's going to say no to that. We can't, the pedophilia, I think, is a mistake at this point to dig into it right now, because that takes some time sometimes to get through with people. And I don't know how much time we have. So the fastest way to do this is with the economy. It's what's at the forefront for most people. So they're already kind of in tune to it. And then when you get into the possibilities of what's going to happen, it makes the most sense. And it's the easiest way to get through. So let's focus on that. Every day matters. Every person matters. Let's keep pushing till the end. I end it with our prayer. For God and country, amen. We'll see you tomorrow night at 5 Pacific. God bless.